A little history of Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Masjid al-Aqsa has a rich history. It is intimately linked with prophetic history, not of one but numerous prophets. It was first built by the Prophet Ibrahim, as, years after he built the Kaaba with his first son Ismail, as. Muslims have always been its true custodians despite illegal Zionist encroachments. We know from the Quran, 2:127–128, that the father and son prophets, Ibrahim and Ismail who, as, built the Kaaba in conformity with the command of Allah.
The Kaaba in Mecca is the first house of worship for Allah on earth. Prophet Ibrahim, as, had settled his first son Ismail, as, and his mother, Hajar, as, there, again according to the command of Allah. Prophet Ibrahim, as, however, did not live in Mecca, he lived in Palestine in the place that takes its name from him, Al-Khalil, Hebron.
Is it conceivable that Prophet Ibrahim, as, would build a place of worship in Makkah but not have a place of worship in Jerusalem that is right next to Hebron? As the patriarch of all the prophets of Allah, Ibrahim, as, also built a place of worship in Jerusalem. This came to be known as Betayil, meaning the house of Allah in Hebrew. When Ibrahim's, as, second son Isaac, was born and grew up in Hebron, he would go to worship in Betayil.
Interestingly, Isaac, as, who was also a noble prophet of Allah, also prayed in the Kaaba in Mecca and performed the Hajj pilgrimage there together with his father, Ibrahim, as, and brother, Ismail, as. It was Ibrahim, as, that named Betayil as Masjid al-Aqsa, the farthest mosque in deference to the Kaaba, from which it was located far away to the northwest. So Masjid al-Aqsa was built even earlier than the father and son prophets David, and Prophet Solomon, as, Salomon, as claimed by the Zionists. In contemporary history, Al-Aqsa Mosque, located on the Temple Mount, has become a contested place because the Zionists claim it is built on the site where their first and second temples originally existed. A great deal of myth is interwoven into this narrative despite the fact that the temple was destroyed repeatedly by invading forces. The Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar, attacked Jerusalem in 587 BC and destroyed the temple, Baitul. The Israelites were enslaved and suffered greatly for more than 70 years. There were several phases of rebuilding and destruction of the temple, the last being the Romans' destruction of it in 70 CE by setting it on fire. No trace of the temple has ever existed. Even though they are still fulfilling the project in the name of Solomon. They claim that Solomon has said, building the third temple is an act which must be done to complete the redemption of the people of the Bible in the land of the Bible. I cannot imagine an Israeli state or Israeli life in this country without the Temple Mount in the center of this life. For Orthodox Jews committed to re-establishing the temple, both the present problems of the world and the problems faced by the Jewish people will be solved only by rebuilding. Their project consists first on 1. The cleansing of all Israel. All Israel should be saved and restored to the Jews. That's the war on Gaza and West Bank. 2. Destroying the Dome Mosque. It's the location where they want to build their third temple. 3. Burning the red heifers, mixing their eggs with water to purify the Jews in order to enter the Masjid al-Aqsa, the Holy of Holies according to their rabbinical laws. 4. Building the temple with their Messiah, the Antichrist, and conquering the world. Rabbi Chaim Richman, director of the Temple Institute, said the Shekinah is brought about only through the temple. In terms of our mission as a people, we cannot in any way reach our spiritual status without the temple. They have spiritual problems, that means that there is a problem with their faith. When asking the gouvernement to commit a genocide and to exterminate 2.5 million of people in order to fulfill a prophecy that is false. For sure, it's evil. That's why they have spiritual problems and need to get purified all the time. Section 2 from the Quran. 78. Curses were pronounced on those among the children of Israel who rejected faith by the tongue of David and of Jesus the son of Mary, because they disobeyed and persisted in excesses. 79. Nor did they, usually, forbid one another the iniquities which they committed, evil indeed were the deeds which they did. When Jesus perceived that the children of Israel were bent upon disbelief, he said, "Who will be my helper in the cause of God?" The disciples 49 promptly responded and said, "We are God's helpers." 50. We have believed in God, so do bear witness that we are Muslims, who surrender to God. Lord, we have believed in that which Thou hast sent down and followed Thy messenger, so enroll us among those who bear witness. Quran 3:52-53